Hey everyone, good afternoon. This is Mohit Sharma. I'm from Codely Consulting and I take care of business analysis and I work as a Salesforce consultant. And so today we are going to discuss about how education is changing in our country and how those trends are getting changed and how Salesforce can help us bring the best outcome of our education practices. Those are getting changed. So today agenda would be this, and quickly in next 1 minute we'll be starting with this. So before we start this demonstration, so I would like to thank you all of you for being here and thank you for joining us today. So to respect each other time, we will quickly start this demonstration now and the presentation. So very first thing, we are going with the agenda of today's meeting, right? So in this today's agenda, we will be talking about five key things. So any education industry. So before I talk about this agenda, I will definitely be talking about why we are meeting today. So the purpose of today's meeting is to make you understand if you are from a education background, if you are handling the business ecosystem or your education ecosystem with respect to the business development and your end-to-end journey of your students, right? So how Salesforce or the Salesforce CRM can help you. So this would be our today's discussion, and that is why we are meeting. The second is if you are looking for something as a career development in Salesforce, then how you can get into it. So both ways you will get insights, how education industry is working, what all challenges are there and why the CRM, and then what are Salesforce capabilities available and what are the pricing and implementation life cycle typically take care. So this would be our today's agenda. Where very first topic which we will be covering, education industry overview, like how things are moving, how these trends are going. The second would be our industry challenges, and then why CRM is a need of education industry today, and then what sort of Salesforce capabilities are available and what is the pricing model implementation life cycle of it. Yes, we will be discussing on that as well in today's demonstration. So just going to our very first slide, which is changes in Indian education system. So when in my first agenda, I was talking about the overview of education industry. So this is really important to understand before we get into the Salesforce life cycle, before we get into the education life cycle, how Salesforce is helping education development. What sort of changes are happening in Indian education system? So if we talk about at the time before 2020, 2020, if we talk about that, right? So all the people, all the students, teachers, and education system was focusing on only cramming up the theories and concepts. We were more focused towards the theoretical concepts. We were there was no exposure to our practical domains focuses, right? So we were not able to do so much of practical during our education processes or being into the school, colleges, and all. And most of the focus was obtaining the high marks, right? So most of the students were targeting like, yes, how we can obtain the highest mark, how I can win over this person and I can get more marks than him, right? But now after 2020, these trends being changed. So in our India, so there is new education policy which came in, which is NEP 2020. With this education policy, we came up with how the complete our the legacy systems, the legacy trends of managing end-to-end education processes, how this can be changed to a digital transformation journey for everybody in India, actually, right? So this is how this after Modi ji, so when he came in and then this policy being set up, and these are the few trends which we can see. So this is the time when the COVID hit in India, right? The second is, yes, this is a new education policy which came into the trends, where the very first focus was, yes, from physical to the virtual content availability. So how physically we used to run, used to learn, we used to meet, right? How those trends can be changed into a virtual model of our content availability. Then the content, after content availability, how a learner centric environment can be set up. So when we are talking about the learner-centric environment, how a 360-degree view can be delivered, how a learner preferences, a personalized learning programs can be enabled for our education ecosystem. So this was a trend which we started, and after that, yes, we also thought of, yes, we should move on with the practical and skill-oriented approach, improving the operations. How, while thinking about a 360-degree view or learning-centric environment, how we can move to a practical and skill-oriented approach as well, right? While earlier we used to think of, yes, how we can be better in theories, how we can write more, how those concepts can be written down, right? But now the focus is not this. The focus is the practical and skill-oriented approach, improving operations. While doing this, how these operations or the learner management or success management of your students or the teacher skills management, and how this collaboratively can be done while learning for each other. So while the teachers or other people are learning the technologies, how technology can help them manage their day-to-day operations. At the same time, how those students can also be the part of that technology while learning with the practical and skill-oriented approach. So this was the agenda with which hybrid, blended, experimental, and project learning based learning came into our era. Then after that, very next trend, because while we are talking about learner-centric environment, while we are talking about, yes, collaborative learning, improving operations, this is also important when so many data is getting gathering into our databases. How digitalization with the introduce of your digital programs, e-learning programs, data pool, your content-based approach thereafter can be managed. And this is how enabling personalized learning programs can also set up. So after that, just after that, yes, reforms the evaluation methods. When these three trends being taken care by our industry experts of education. So yes, profiling of student data is also very important for us, and then bridging the geographical gaps as well. If the people are from the rural areas, in that case, how they can get the best education digitally, online, while some of the people are also engaged with the offline model, and yes, how the online system can also help them. So this is how the recent changes in your Indian education system. So this is really important to understand before we get into our Salesforce ecosystem, how Salesforce can help us. So with that, I'll be moving to our next slide, which is our challenges in education system. So while we are talking about the education industry, so there are many challenges with respect to digitalization processes as well, adoption to new technology. Because when in 2020, these new policies, the new approach of learners, learning management being taken care, how these challenges are happening with respect to the adoption. Yes, that is one of the challenge. How the best user experience can be delivered to them and how this adoption can be made easily for them. The second is incomplete knowledge, right? Because we just started with the our digital transformation journeys in India in our education sector. So in some of the areas, yes, how those incomplete knowledge areas can be covered with a perfect tool, how a system can help us bring those bridge those gaps. So this is a one challenge which we will definitely be talking about today. The third is our data management. So when we are talking about the students are nothing but your B2C, right? Because education industry is dealing more towards the B2C than B2B. So this is B2C. So when we are talking about B2C, yes, the data management is again the challenge, the duplicate management, so many other challenges being there. How a system can tackle that, yes, that is something with respect to the education industry we will be talking about. Then absence of a unified and connected system. So when we are talking about this term, unified and connected system, so that is also really important for us to understand. In education system, there are some finance, operations, placements, recruitment, so many other processes are working together. How all these processes can be placed in one single unified platform, that is really important, which is the absence of today's technologies. And then how Salesforce can help us with respect to one single unified platform. Yes, that would we will be talking about. Then communications and collaboration. So when we are talking about the unified and connected system, yes, this is again a challenge which can be covered, which we will be talking about communication and collaboration. So this is again one of the key challenge in education industry while interacting with students, while interacting with their parents, right? So while interacting with their uh, relationships, like their friends, their siblings. So this is again the communication and collaboration, how one single view can be delivered and how we can tackle those situations. Then thereafter, limited interaction and feedback, because of the lack of the systems, right? While we talk to so many B2C students, their parents and their siblings, or their other key family members as well, household team members as well. So if we do not have any system in place, so this is really difficult to remember to whom I was talking and what was the reason, what sort of discussion I had. And if any of the team member is moving to another team or to any other organization as well, that again, remembering all those transactional interaction is really important for us to understand. And the regular feedback is also important, which is again a challenge of education industry today. Then the growth pressures. So we know there are so many competitors all around, right? While we are talking about education, so education is here, there, and actually today is available online and offline in both the ways, right? And how we need to compete with our competitors. So that is again one of the peer pressure which we need to tackle. And this is how we are these challenges are being here with us now in terms of the growth pressures. Then managing B2C relations, which I was talking about, the data management. Yes, this is again one of the key important thing which we need to consider as a challenge for us while dealing in education industry. And then yes, one of the key important thing, analysis, performance analysis, cross channels, collaborations, and their analysis as well. So while we are doing so many things all around our end-to-end operations of education or the any student journey, to capture from recruitment to alumni processes, right? So how those analysis can be brought up on the front to get next best action. So that is again one of the challenge. So now after being discussing about the challenges, after being discussing about, yes, what sort of recent changes been happened in the industry, this is also important now, like why CRM and what is CRM. So when I'm talking about the CRM, so CRM is very simple, like customer relationship management. Your customer is your students. Our students, your customers are their family members. Your customers are your vendors as well, right? Those are providing you some sort of leads, pushing some data into your system, and then how those can be nurtured further for the application processes and how those conversions can happen. So this is how the entire thing which can be covered under one thing, which is our customer relationship management. So why CRM? Because it will give you one unified view of uh, constituent information, right? So this is how on one single place you will have one single view of a family or a student as well. So if we are talking about family, yes, in my family, how many members are there? How many members are being involved in your education organization as well, right? That is really important to understand so that you can build those relationships. So this is how CRM will help you with that. Then an improved student experience. So while we are talking about, yes, our internal operations, our internal engagements, recruitment processes, this is also important to understand. We should not forget about the end user experience. This is also important for students, how they're getting the experience while interacting with you guys, while interacting with your recruiters, while interacting for their application submission, while interacting with you guys for their care plans, right? How you as an organization are taking care of their needs. So those experiences are equally important today, and that is why CRM can bring solution around that. And this is what also we will be talking about. Then empowered faculty and staff. So when these systems are available, when CRM is available, so many processes being enabled around your business functions. So how we can empower our internal faculty and staff. So that is how the CRM will help us, including our flexibility needed to pivot quickly. Yes, quickly we can answer, quickly we can get back to anybody who needs any sort of solution around education or within our organization or within their tenure of alum or the end-to-end journey with us. So while I'm talking about end-to-end journey, yes, we can call it as lifelong journey as well, right? Because we are talking about the alum relation as well. And while we are talking about alumni, yes, that is how the lifelong learning can be also at one single place, how Salesforce or CRM can help bring those practices around one single unified platform, then collaboration between different team members and critical matrices. So when we are tackling so many situations around our data, our processes, right? So definitely those matrices are also important for our tracking purposes. Then how a CRM can increase the alumni engagements. And then when we are talking about alumni's engagement, we should not forget about the fundraising as well. So how, while interacting with alums, inviting them into our events, how those fundraising efforts can also be reduced within the system, and how system can guide them through our programs which we are running with respect to the scholarship, with respect to the fee processes, right? How we can give the scholarship around that, how we can provide some gifts, some sort of help to our students or our organization. So this is also one of the key effort which can be reduced while using a CRM. And then add all, while we are talking about this insights analytics, yes, this is something really important for all of us. So with that, I'll now be starting on our Salesforce, how Salesforce works for education. Before that, we were talking about education processes, what are the challenges there, and how CRM can bring the best in terms of, yes, collaboration, effortless communications, best user experience with respect to the students, their parents, and other relations as well. So now I'll talking about how Salesforce can help us while delivering solutions, or why handling solutions around those problem statements which we were just talking about. So yes, how Salesforce works for education industry, there are 3 or 4 layers. So we do have the different products of Salesforce. So if we talk about sales, services, marketing, analytics, Slack. So what has happened? So Salesforce has combined those best practices to bring one solution, which we call it as Salesforce for Education. So in this, we get the capabilities of Salesforce multi-products or multi-cloud environment, which we call it as sales, service, marketing, analytics, and Slack, which is being used for the communication. And there are so many as well, like velocity, you can talk about the Omni Studio. There are so many other capabilities as well, which we will definitely be talking about during our demonstration today. But once these multi-cloud environment or multi-products are coupled together, a very next layer is our education data foundation. So this is how Salesforce has created one layer of your data foundation, where we can easily think of or set up or manage our persons and relationships as well. And then constituent rates also can be managed here. Your learning structures, yes, how a personalized learning programs to be enabled for our students. Yes, that is one of the key layer of our data foundation, which we call it as education data foundation. Then what sort of courses being offered, then institution structure. So your processes, your operations, your finances, your student success, their care plans, their recruitment processes, their admission processes, how easily can be managed through this layer. Then the learner profile, right, which is really important. And there are so many other things as well, which we will be talking about. This is how this education data foundation is really important to understand. Once this is done, so very next layer, which we will be talking about, one is your product layer. The second is your education data foundation. The very next layer is our common capabilities model. So once we are done with that, on top of it, when we are talking about person and relationships, when we are talking about B2C, we should not forget about the household management. So this is the common capability model, yes, where the household management can easily be set up. Consent management, because we are talking about learning structures, constituent rates. So the consent management, document management, their consents are really important for us. That is how the capability model can enable us process application processes more easily, right, and smoothly. So this is how this layer can help us. And while we are talking about, again, the learner profiles, institution structures, and course offering, the very next layer of our Salesforce can help you bring the solutions around appointment. If I need to book any appointment with any of my key stakeholder within my organization, with whom I need to get consulting for my next steps, where I'm lacking in my learning, where I need their support so that I can move next, right? I can plan my career accordingly. So this is how these appointment solutions can be made. And while we are talking about appointments, yes, definitely the case management, the ticket management with your omni channels, multiple mediums, anybody, any student can also reach out to you. And this is how the complete student timeline can be covered under this capability model, where we can see when that student first reached out to us, then when we converted into an application, then when we converted this into an enrollment process, and so on till the alumni journey, and then the fundraising processes as well. The complete student timeline can also be covered under our capability model. So when we are talking about, yes, products bundles, very first layer, the second layer, education data foundation, the basics of our education architecture. The very third thing is, yes, on top of it, how these add-ons, practices, capabilities can help us bring the user experience better on one single unified platform. This is how those operating applications can work together for a one unified solution among these four key models of our Salesforce, which we will call it as Education Cloud for recruitment and admissions, which is a very first layer, how marketing operations can happen, how those recruitment processes can happen, and then how those application processes in terms of admissions can happen here. The very next thing is Education Cloud for student success. So when these admissions are done, recruitment processes are done, then the very next thing, student success, how this platform can help bring that user a best experience in terms of student success, the care, their learning programs, their personalized training programs, their knowledge articles, and so on. Then after this, again, one more module which we can discuss, or we will be discussing today only, about Education Cloud for advancement and alumni relationships, which will bring the fundraising events, how these alums can engage during their tenure, how they can also help us in terms of placements as well. If I'm placed into this company as an alum, right? And if my other students, those are still studying in my organization, and need any sort of support while managing this placement processes, yes, that is also important under this module of ours. And then once these three things are done, yes, how these academic operations among these three layers will happen. So this is also we will be talking about, and this is how our Salesforce works for education industry. This is, you can see a conclusion of, yes, how, what, and why Salesforce for education. So with that, I'll be moving to my very first agenda of today's discussion or webinar, like how Salesforce CRM for education is working, and what are the key models around our applicant process. Very first is prospecting process, then how that prospecting will convert into an applicant who is applying for any application, then how it will get converted into an admitted student because that has been applied for a course, right? And how those operations are happening, and during those operations, how that enrollment happens, what sort of journeys which we will be covering during our enrolled student processes, and then how that alumni journey, including your placement processes and events, fundraising can happen. With that, in left hand side, you can see some numbers. So I'll definitely be talking about these numbers as well, like 5.5% increase in student enrollment. When you use Salesforce CRM for your education industry, yes, this is how, when they get the best experience, a timely response from any organization, right, or any education institute, there is a high chance of that student to get enrolled. And this is how the Salesforce successfully enabled 5.5% increase in student enrollment. So when these enrollments are happening, yes, first year retention rates are also important. With our student success platform, which we were talking about in our last slide, that is also important to understand how student success can help us bring attention of our faculty, of our staff towards our students, with who trusted us, who enrolled with us, and how we are giving them the attention. And this is how that process been helping us increase 15% in first year retention rates, and with that 10%. So when those beautiful experiences are happening, then how those fundraising contributions can happen, right? If anybody is studying in any of the MNC or any other organization, how they can fund or give the scholarship to any of the student, how they can support any of the student as well, right? This is how with the Salesforce CRM, we have analyzed a 10% increase in that, and then 1.6 million in legacy environment saving. So how we calculated these rates, right? 1.6 million. So you must be thinking about that. Uh, So while answering this question, so just think about our legacy system. When there are so many resources are working around, they are just struggling in, yes, to whom I need to reach next, to whom I need to reach next, how I need to prioritize my day, how I need to prioritize, yes, with whom I need to talk, and what is my next step. So this is how the CRM or Salesforce will help you analyze that. You just need to sit, put your initial data right, and the data which you are capturing through your application processes from different channels as well, get that how you are able to save your time. So when you are saving your time, right, so time is actually equal to your cost and resources both ways, right, which we can talk about. And this is how the CRM within one single unified platform under Salesforce, those legacy environment savings can happen actually. And this is not only about the cost of our resources and this. So when we are talking about environment, so yes, the paper is also getting saved, which we can talk about today. Yes, we are saving our trees as well, we are saving our environment as well. So this is a two kind of savings which we are doing when implementing Salesforce CRM actually. So the cost reduction in terms of processes, so how the processes can be optimized, and then the environment as well. So both ways, if we think of, yes, we can get this. And with that, around this circle, which I was talking about, five key things: prospecting till alumni. So four things around that: operations, from the start of any student into our recruitment process or the prospecting of our process, right? The operation starts till the end of the journey, or you could say like lifelong journey of our students. With that analytics, yes, the communications and collaboration around all our processes can happen only on Salesforce. So let's move to my very next slide, and then I'll move to our Salesforce demonstration. I'll be representing, yes, how these key five elements are working together on one single platform. So this is very first thing which we need to discuss: prospecting. So anything or everything in any business organization or any education organization, right, starts with prospecting. So in the prospecting and education industry, we should talk about very key elements of this key module, which is our recruitment process, how this outreach is happening, how these demographics being maintained in our Salesforce, then the attribution is happening, then interviews, right? Because in our recruitment processes, in our outreach processes, demographics. So today you have seen the change in the trends where we are interviewing people, right? That is also important for us. And then learning catalog. So how, while interacting with the students, how those knowledge articles are helping us understand, yes, what could be their next step, how system is able to help them with their queries, right? So this is how this prospecting can be done. And then while talking about this key module, which I'll be referring during my demonstration just after this. So in left-hand side, we can talk about make every moment count. Whatever we are doing as a staff or a faculty or recruitment under our recruitment processes or under our outreach processes, we should think about make every moment count. So whenever we are interacting with the end user, yes, every moment of our interaction should be captured well. They should also feel happy about, yes, with whom they are interacting, because we as an organization know about that, right? So inspire action and affinity with the personalized power every interaction with the AI. So you must be knowing about Einstein GPT capabilities now, right? Because when the AI is coming, AL and ML we are talking about these days. So this is how the AI interactions can also happen. And then while talking about outreach processes, advertising them, email processes, SMS processes, website processes, your e-commerce, your social and more. So how single system can help with those moments to bring happiness towards end user as well as your team members, your employees as well. So how this can be a win-to-win situation for all of us together. So this is how this platform can help you. The second thing is really important for all of us while talking about moment: 360-degree view of every student, because this is really important for us to understand. Yes, we should have a 360-degree view of every student. And then when we are talking about a 360-degree view, each and everything which we are talking, we are calling them, we are sending an email, we are interacting, each and every small piece of information that is being captured into our Salesforce is called, we call it as a 360-degree view, so that you can understand, you can analyze, and then accordingly you can prioritize your next steps. Then use a fast, flexible, and scalable platform. So when we are talking about Salesforce, yes, the complete Salesforce platform is one single unified platform. You do not need to think about any other platform because each and everything of yours can easily be managed under Salesforce. And that is why we are calling it as like use a fast, flexible, and scalable platform. Because at any point of time, you think of those recent changes being happened in 2020, from our offline processes to the online processes, from our legacy systems to our digital transformation journeys. That is really important, like how scalable systems were, how scalable we were to change our business process all of the sudden while we sit down in our houses, right? So this is how house arrest happened in 2020-21. So this is how we definitely should have one scalable platform in our organization with respect to any changes are happening outside that system without disturbing or without changing our other business processes, how we can scale those and other processes within our ecosystem, and then how actionable list can also happen. So without wasting time, I'll quickly be jumping into my Salesforce demo now. So I hope you all are able to see my screen, Salesforce screen. So under this, you can see a very simple login URL, which is your login.salesforce.com. So when I'm showing you this login.salesforce.com, this URL is, yes, configurable, customizable as well. If you want to change the look and feel of your login page, yes, that can happen. But just for the demonstration, I'll tell you, you just need to put your username and the password. The way you are using your Facebook, the way you are using using your Gmail account, the way you used to manage your emails with your username and the password, the way you use to log in into your Instagram or any other social media platform as well. In the same way, this is a one cloud application which you can open or can access from anywhere, anytime. Either you are at any location, yes, you can access it with your web application. And the same application, when I'm talking about, yes, any device as well, this is not only available on your web applications, but yes, on your iPads, your tablets, and your mobile phones, and any sort of notification you would like to see on your watches, right? So because today you are wearing the smart watches, so there as well, you can access these applications to do some sort of approval processes, to do to see some sort of important notifications on your screen while traveling, while riding, any sort of thing. So you can access this application anytime on any device, anywhere as well, right? So this is how this one of the beauty of this cloud application. And the second beauty is, yes, the scalability of this application. Each and everything which we will be talking about during our demonstration is configurable and customizable as well. And the third thing is, you do not need to think about, yes, how business processes are getting evolved outside. If we talk about the journey of Nokia, if we talk about the journey of Google, if we talk about the journey of Apple today, we are not talking about the Nokia today, right? So this is really important to understand what is happening outside and how our systems are able to scale at any level, the way we are looking to manage our business processes, the way we need to enhance our processes, the way we need to communicate our visions and missions outside to our users, to our students, to our education faculty and staffs as well. Yes, this is how one single unified platform, which is scalable, can help us. And then once I put my username and password here, while I'm talking about this login page, this is a very first screen which when you get into your system. So on this screen, if I refresh here, right, so I'll only be just refreshing this screen. So as soon as I put my username and the password on my home screen, what I can see is I can see a dashboard where I can see some sort of pictures. I can also see the student enrollments. I can see the academic years as well. So these are the quick numbers I can quickly see. And then here I can see some applicants as well and some faculties as well. So these are the different tabs. Again, this is all configurable the way I want. I can do that. And even if I need to just subscribe this dashboard or the numbers on my email addresses, right? I can do that too. And on the right hand side, you can see my today's task, what are my today's important tasks in case I need to filter it out in terms of overdue task, my delegated task, my open task as well. That is also available here. And with my recent items as well, wherever I'm going, whatever sort of record I'm opening, right? So I can see these recent items as well with recent records too. So this is how this home screen. So you must be thinking about why I'm showing you this dashboard first, because first you need to vision something. First, you need to create as a vision. Yes, this is some sort of output I'm expecting. This is some sort of objectives I'm setting, and that is why I'm showing you numbers. But how these numbers are getting derived, how these numbers are coming, and how these numbers are helping us, this is what I'll be discussing now. So while I was talking about the prospecting, right, in my pie chart, I was showing you one key pie, which is my prospecting. Under prospecting, how those application processes are working, how those students are getting captured, right? So here you would see this 9 dots. Under 9 dots, I can see multiple applications. So that is why we are calling it as a unified platform. Your recruitment processes, your academic operations processes, your student success processes, your alumni processes as well, and fundraising processes, strategy processes, services, sales, digital experiences, your business rules as well. Each and everything can be managed on one single ecosystem. You don't need to hover around multiple URLs. You don't need to remind about yourself about, yes, this is my username and the password. Each and everything will be available on one single platform here. So very first thing, very first pie, which I'll be talking about, yes, recruitment admission, which is related to our prospecting. So how system works? So we do have the capabilities of campaign management. Under this, we will be discussing about two key topics. One is your marketing process, and then how people are reaching out to us through these various application processes as well. So what happens generally? So we have this. So let me just quickly show you my this tab here. Yep. So this is my experience builder. So I'll start with this. Why? Because I was showing you the numbers. I was also showing you, yes, how these applications are coming. But here, before getting into that, it is really important to understand from our various marketing campaigns, these key students are coming to us. They are getting some insights of our education programs on some of the social channels. They are clicking on that link. And this is how once they click on that, they get into your one of the application portal. So this is what I'm showing you, the application portal. Once you click on any of your marketing campaigns, which you are referring, and as a student, if I click on that button or advertisement, this is how I'll be landed to this application portal, where the way you sign up for any of the new application today. So in the same way, what we can do is they just need to sign up for one of the application or as a student in your system so that they can fill out their application. So this is how we start with. Once they sign up, this is how this experience will be available for your prospects, for your students as well. And here they can see if they need to apply for any of the new application, yes, they just need to click on this new application button and they just need to fill out, yes, what sort of application type. Undergraduate programs I am looking to apply for the graduate program, and what academic term, the fall 2024 or spring 2025 or any other academic term as well, for which I'm applying. So when I'm talking about academic term, yes, for which financial year, for which academic year I'm applying. This is actually I'm referring here. And then the primary program enrollment as well. So under the graduate process, so this is for the demonstration for which particular program I'm getting enrolled for BS biology and what is my decision time. So I have time to take the admission, but yes, I am early deciding, yes, I need to get admission into your university only, and that is why I'm applying for this application. Or this is my regular decision, yes, my 12th is done, and with that I need to move out to my next course here, and this is how. But somehow today parents are and students are also reaching out with the early decisions when they are still in 10th class or 11th class, but they have their mind like, yes, I want my student to study in this particular university or this education uh, institution as well. So where they can have this early decision as well. So once I go next, so system will come up with a form where we can apply certain demographics with respect to my key information as well. What is my name? What is my date of birth? If I go again back here, so this is my application which I was showing you. Once this new application is being created, this is how which I just filled in front of you for my BS biology, right? So I can continue editing it and I can review my application as well. And on a right hand side, I can set up few appointments if I need to set up any of the appointment with any of your faculty, right? For my consulting purposes, what I need to do is I just need to click here and I can set up this appointment as well. And as well as I can review my success team, who from my education institution is in touch and who is the business development team or the success team which is in touch and guiding for the next steps and doing the career counseling as well. And then the care plans as well, if I'm looking for some sort of solutions around as well, because I'm little confused if I should choose this BS biology or the physics or mathematics for my graduate program, right? So some sort of care plans can also be applied where my counselor or my success team can help me with the regular sessions and can set up, yes, what are the positive, what are the negatives, and why should I choose this or this. This is how they can guide me on my day-to-day operations as well. So this is how, once these applications are being created or set up, so this is how what we can get is the individual applications. As soon as I fill up any of my information on my application portal as a prospect, this is how in my system I can see this individual application. And under this application, once I click here, for example, I click here now, I open any of the, so earlier I was showing you a prospect screen or the end user screen. Now I'm showing you as a faculty. I logged in into my Salesforce and here I can see the entire information about that student actually, right? So here I can see the profile of that student. So the name and how I need to pronounce that person, then the gender identity, what is the birth date, then the primary address, secondary addresses, alternate addresses, if we have these demographics as well, like race, military branch, if they are the first generation student or anything. What are their language proficiency, right? If we have our footprints in India and multiple states or international footprints as well. So how these language proficiency can help us understand what is the efficiency of that student and what are their preferences. Accordingly, we can align our success team. So these are the some sort of demographics which we are capturing here, and then the nationality and citizenship as well. So whatever I'm showing you, this is all configurable. The way you want that to be configured, each and everything can be configured actually. And the same way, while talking about my personal profile, so yes, my family information can also be captured, my guardians, my siblings as well, my education background. And in case I delivered or I applied for any sort of initial test as well, so I can see those test results as well in my system itself, and what are the results, composite scores, and what was the examination date as well. So this is for any of the institution. Those are first taking the tests, and once the test is given, yes, after the analyzing those scores, cards, and the examination date, they are referring them to the different institution of theirs, and this is how they are doing the career counseling as well. And in case any documentation management is also required or being submitted by that student during the application submission process in their prospect screen, yes, those documents can also be managed. So once this application is received as a faculty, what I can do is on the right hand side, you can see application reviews. As soon as any application is created, that can be submitted for the review. And as soon as this is submitted for the review, then very next step would be, yes, how as a faculty or as a success team member or as a recruiter, I'm reviewing those and I'm helping them prioritize their career path as well. How can I help them map their career path to? So this is how this application review process will help us with due date, assign date, end date, your application recommendation in case I would like to recommend something, right? And in case I do have any comments and any sort of conditions, those needs to be applied. So this is how I can submit my review, or any of your recruiter can also submit their reviews. And these are the key information if I need to attach any of the document as well, any sort of attachments in terms of PPT or Word document, anything. that can also be managed. So this is what we are talking about prospecting. Any prospect to whom we send mass email, for example, right? We added them into the campaign of ours. As soon as those campaigns are run and emails are sent, they click on any of our button, yes, and then what they can do is they can go to your application portal, they can sign up, and then they can just apply for any application. As soon as that application process is being done, yes, as a counselor or as a recruiter, what I can do is I can review that application and I can either reject it or approve it as well as and when required. Another key information while we are talking about a student, which we can capture is the approval processes, your academic terms, enrollments as well, your academic sessions as well, your course offerings as well. Each and everything around your recruitment process and admission process can be covered here. And I'll quickly show you as a student, if I click here, this is a 360-degree view, which I was referring during my presentation as well. So I have the three screens, right? So why these three screens? So that we can easily analyze while talking to this student on my phone, right? I can easily review all the information on one single page. So on the left-hand side, I can review the timeline of that student. I can also review, yes, either this particular student is a prospect of ours or student or the parent. So we can do some sort of tagging, and also we can do the timeline review when this person reached out to us first and he or she started first with the service appointment. So when she first signed up for the application form or as a student in our portal, right, which I was showing you, she created before that application, she created this appointment. She wanted to meet us. She wanted to talk about her career plan and how we can help her map her career plan as well. This is how this timeline view started. And with another appointment, with another appointment, then we met with her parent. Then we did the student being created here. And then while creating that student, yes, this is how the prospect. So she started as a prospect, and then this enrollment being happened recently in our spring 2024 program. She has taken the enrollment. So this is how the entire timeline I can review. These are the few buttons and the action launcher. If I need to create a case or a ticket here as well, a new task needs to be created, any email I need to send, each and everything I can do within my Salesforce itself. I do not need to jump to any other screen as well. And on the middle of the screen, I can review all the details about the student, and I can also review all the related information for how many applications she has submitted, what all academic term enrollments been done for her. So in which, so I was talking in my timeline in spring 2024, she has applied. So here I can see the academic term enrollment as well. And then this is your learner programs, your service appointments, interactions, the number of times she reached out to us for her problem statements as well, for her well-being, for our academic cases as well, or for the career plan cases. Any sort of tickets being raised by her, we can see the program enrollments and what all programs she has been enrolled and what care plan we have applied as a success team member, what care plan been applied to her, and all other information as well. So this is how on one single screen we can see a 360-degree view. So this is how this prospecting can be done. And before going here, very quickly, I would also like to show you even your marketing platform. You don't need to reach out to any other platforms. In Salesforce, we have so many capabilities as one unified platform where the campaign management, your marketing campaigns can also run here only. So this is how you can see the campaign management planning can done. And I can add on those details like the start date, end date, campaign statistics can also be reviewed. How many contacts or students been added into this campaign? What was the budget of my campaign? And what sort of ROI I'm generating from this campaign as well? And I'm not only talking about the email campaigns or your online campaigns as well, but yes, on Salesforce platform, you can run your offline campaigns as well. For example, you're running any newspaper ad and you have given one QR code as well to them. So while doing the QR code scanning, they can also apply for your any of the program. And this is how you can get their application and you can initiate the processes their own words. So this is how the online campaigns and offline campaigns can also be managed throughout. So while first piece I was talking about prospecting quickly, I'll be jumping to applicant process. So once this prospecting is done, the career mapping, the success team being added, the care plans being added while talking during our recruitment processes, counseling plans, and those marketing processes, yes, that person has applied now. So once this applicant has applied, so three things which we'll be talking about as operation: applicant, admitted student, because the application is approved now, then admitted student, and then enrolled as well into our courses. So when I was talking about spring 2024, we have the multiple layers with respect to the sessions. So once any course is mapped, right? So which class he or she will be joining in? What are the attendances? What are the other related information? What are the career aspirations? So all other operations will also be mapped through these three pies, which I'll be discussing now. One is your applicant, under which we will be able to manage this application details, your documentation, relationships, because I was talking about the household or family as well. So yes, under one single umbrella, you can map their families and their other siblings as well, or their cousins as well. And their application reviews processes can be done, and then the decision making can happen. And this is how I was showing you the case screen as well, where we can do this student support too. And this is how the entire tracking on one single screen with respect to the numbers, with respect to your dashboard can happen here. So once this applicant process is done on a left-hand side, yes, quickly, admission console, your alert frameworks, your applicant portals, your application review, which I already have shown you. This is how the applicant processes can be mapped. While moving to the next slide, yes, admitted student. So once this is the student is admitted, the enrollment management can happen, the care plans they can engage with, the courses management can happen, and then case management as well. The consent can be taken, and then their progress, their learner goals as well. If they have any career goals as well, how we can help them give that trust. Yes, we are here to help you. What you are thinking, what you're planning for your career, yes, we are always here to support you in your goals. But yes, those goals somehow should be mentioned in your system. That is how we are calling it as a digital transformation, because on one single screen or on one single place, you should have the entire journey of that student where you can do these entire operations. So once this is done, so this is how we can move to the enrollment stage of that student. So once the application is done, the course is being taken care, yes, we can enroll them. We can connect with the campus. We can drive the collaboration between the other team members now, right? So that the fee planning can done. The support staff of that student can also be engaged with them. And then the attendance tracking processes can also be done. So in terms of attendance tracking, yes, with the QR code, we can also manage those attendances with your biometrics. If you have any biometric machines, right, in your organization, that can also be integrated where we can capture their attendances as well within Salesforce, so that we can see the entire journey here. Then the student grades. So once they are admitted, they have taken the admission into our terms. So how they are giving those examinations, right? Assessments as well. So how those grades can be managed, and how we can help them gain some sort of milestones too. And while I'm talking about this enrollment, yes, this is really important to understand on Salesforce. This is not only the student journey, then your alumni journey will get started, and fundraising programs, volunteership programs can also be initiated here only. So this is how the entire, and after this, yes, the alumni management as well, like personalized alumni management can be done. Streamline operations can happen. Your fundraising productivity activities can be done, and access and analyze data can also be done. Now I will be quickly showing you the alumni 360-degree view. So when I'm talking about the alumni process, you will here you will see under our applications, we have so many different applications as well, like academic operations, our student success, and alum as well, and the fundraising operations, and so on too. So if I go into my alumni application, and if I log in or open any of my record with respect to this particular alumni here, right? I can see a 360-degree view of my alumni as well. Who is she? Their content summary, their alumni activities as well. I can also see their key information with respect to her email address, phone number, mobile number as well. And then the life events as well, like if she's married now, and when is the baby's birthday, then her birthday, then the member of, so what sort of engagement she is doing outside domestic partnership, right? She has a partnership and she's a member of NEP, National Education Program 2020 as well. And she is the pass out of our 2000 batch. So she is pass out from this academic year, then graduated from which university, from our connected university. Then all their life events, wedding, hired by Salesforce, and so on, moved to the San Francisco, retirement plan as well. This is how on one single screen you can see the lifelong journey being captured, who is helping me understand their interest and what sort of engagement I need to do with her. And under that, yes, her education information, their credentials, certifications, if she has, what sort of bachelor's program she has done, her uh, postgraduate programs as well, right? Any certification in terms of her career she has taken, any life events or any winning. So those credentials also can be mapped. These relationships can also be mapped here. And then these are the key details about that person, and then in which industry she is working, and in which industry she is working, and how many employees are there. This is how this data will help you in terms of fundraising as well as the placements as well. This is how I'm connecting all your journey from student till operations, enrollment, and then alum, and then under the alumni processes, your placement processes and your fundraising processes are also being managed. And this is how the very next thing is fundraising operations and strategy can also be managed throughout. So this is all about our Salesforce, how education is done. So once this data is being captured, how we must talk about these challenges as well in terms of analytics. Yes, how can I find shortcomings in our hiring processes, right? How can I empower my recruiters team with truly actionable insights? Because this is how we have everything on one single place, and how system can help you with these analytics by bringing these analytics on your screen with respect to the applications, with respect to the leads, with respect to the multiple sources and the actionables insights as well for the better decision. So with that, I'll be moving to our last agenda of today, like pricing and the implementation processes. So these are some of the standard prices of Salesforce, where we can talk about two editions. Under two editions, we have a third edition, which is our limited staff access edition, right? Which is a combination of your enterprise and a unlimited edition, where you could see like $81 around, right? And then $138 around your unlimited edition. So in unlimited edition, you are having the capabilities of AI. You can enable some sort of add-ons with respect to the Einstein GPT, their prompt management, prompt templating as well. And under your enterprise edition, yes, how end-to-end student management can done, and how a limited access of your this enterprise edition and unlimited edition with respect to your staff can be delivered through this enterprise and limited access, which is of $25, right? So this is how we have some sort of pricing structure in Salesforce. And when during our internal staff and faculty processes and operations, we were talking about, we do have a different experience cloud structure for the pricing as well, where as a student or as a vendor or as a third party, right? If you need to deliver or if you need to give access of your platform to anyone with the limited records, with the limited data, with the limited accessibility. So this is how the Experience Cloud help those learners get the access as a login or as a member based as well. So login means if I log in, yes, for a certain duration, that a particular the time span will be defined, right? And this is how the login based accesses can be delivered. And then the member as well, as a member, anytime I need to log in. This is how the pricing structures are as well. And we can definitely talk about in detail about these login editions, member editions as well, and your limited and unlimited editions as well. This is the typical implementation overview. So when we are talking about education cloud, yes, the structure architecture is already being built by Salesforce. And here we have this implementation as a functional, where we can start setting up the education implementation within 2 or 3 months. Yes, we can onboard you and your team. And once this is done, we can onboard yourself to a transformation journey, more advanced journey with the financial system integrations if you want, right? If you're using any of the third party financial system as well, and if you need to push or pull some sort of data, or you would like to exchange some data in your within your CRM and financial systems, yes, that could be done. And then we can onboard your students and their parents as well on your experience cloud as well, with the limited accessibility of your modules. And this can also be covered within 2 or 3 months. Some sort of skills those are really required while doing this: administration, experience cloud experience, your omni studio experiences can also give a value add on that. And then education cloud, yes, that is really important while we are talking about Salesforce for education. Then service cloud is also important because recruiters are really looking for these capabilities around our service cloud piece. And these are the some sort of certifications if you are looking for your career in Salesforce as education expert. Yes, how you can gain the consultant certifications of education cloud and experience cloud both, and then with some of the additional skills like problem solving, yes, consulting skills, analyzing skills, who is well aware of the Salesforce architecture, flows, automations, and JavaScript as well. So this is how this is almost done, and the time is also like 5. And thank you all for being here, joining us today. And we really thank you for listening to this. And we will connect with our other uh, upcoming sessions as well, where we will be representing part 2 of it. We will again dive into the complete process module wise. So this is how we are planning, and this is very first webinar with respect to the overall view of this education platform of Salesforce. Yes. So with this, I'm just stopping sharing my screen, and then yes, hey Preeti, I can give you permission to talk. Yeah, Preeti, please.
Hi, I just want to know, like, if we want to get trained in Education Cloud,
Mhm.
so how can we go about it?
Okay, so as a Codely Consulting, so we are running some sort of programs under our one of the foundation, which we call it as Codely Foundation, right? So anybody who is looking for getting the expertise or hands-on on the education cloud, so what they can do is they can enroll into our those programs, and this is how we will start first with the administrative things, where you are able to understand the Salesforce architecture and background of it, how Salesforce is communicating, how the Salesforce architecture being designed. So this is the one thing. And then this is how your journey can be started here. So you can go with codleo.org. So this is the website of ours, right? For the Codleo Foundation as well. You can search on the Google, and then you can apply for these courses, post the sign up on that particular website. So this is how you can start
Okay,
your, and the
one more
second.
question I have.
Mhm.
That is, you have introduced Experience Cloud, right?
Mhm.
Experience site for Education Cloud. Why is it so?
Okay. So so in my initial slides, I showcase how the multi-product categories are helping us build this solution, right? So when we are talking about Salesforce for education, under this Salesforce for education, we have the sub-products or sub-modules of Salesforce as well, which we call it as sales, services, experience cloud, Slack, Tableau, Analytics, your Omni Studio as well, Velocity as well, right? So these capabilities of Salesforce products are combined to deliver a solution around your Salesforce for education. And that is why I was helping you understand, while you need to deliver, or while you need to create a experience for your students or for any of the vendor as well, right? So that experience is built on the experience cloud product of Salesforce, and that is why you should have those capabilities and you should have that knowledge as well. So this is not only Salesforce and education, but yes, around your service cloud, your experience cloud, these knowledges are also important to gain, to understand the overall consulting around your education.
Okay, last question, that whether we'll be getting this recording what you have done today, or how
Yeah.
is it?
So this has already been posted on the LinkedIn, one thing, right? And the second is, yes, so our team will be posting those links with you so that you can, anytime you need any references, you can get into that and you can review those as and when required. And anytime you need any sort of consulting as well, right? Any sort of the mapping guidelines or the career guidelines as well. So you can always interact with our team on Cordelio Foundation, right? Platform, and then they would be happy to help you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So I hope you all enjoyed this session. And yes, this was the first piece where we were talking about overall education. Yes, now as a next level, we will drill down it towards the multiple modules which we were talking about in brief, like success, recruitment, how we can get into those details as well now. Yes, just wait, and sooner you or earliest you will be getting those notifications from our team, and then we can interact again and we can have those sessions as well. And thank you with that. And then, yes, have a great day and all the best to all of you. Thank you and bye bye.